Hey folks, how's it going? This is Mr. McKeever here. We're going to have an extraordinarily brief view into Romanticism since this is already something that's kind of been brought up before today in class. Alright, so Romanticism is going to be born during the French Revolution. It is going to be something that is going to be bred out of the passion of the revolution and the refusal to accept accepted ways in the past. In fact, it's going to be used as a response to the Enlightenment as well, too, to supplement reason as a way to perceive the world. We can't understand everything, so allow there to be something that we cannot understand in the world and embrace it. And this is going to have a massive effect on how people view the world throughout the rest of Europe. We will see it be almost like a hark back to olden times of days in the Middle Ages and things like that. Music, literature, folklore of the Middle Ages are going to be something that people oftentimes embrace again. They are going to become obsessed with the idea of the dream world that we have. And in fact, they're actually looking at what we know today as the subconscious mind, despite the fact that Freud hasn't even discovered that and won't for another 70 to 80 years. What this looks like for the average person is it's going to be a movement that is just going to be incorporative of a ton of different features of European development. We'll see everything from the individualism of the Enlightenment or the Renaissance period, the personal piety that is inspired by Protestant movements and the Reformation. The novels that come out of the 17th century, like Don Quixote de la Mancha, where the focus is on the development of the individual, and also intellectuals of the period like Rousseau and Kant, who we'll talk about in a second. What is also something that's going to be transformative in the period is the embracing of a German poetry movie called Sturm und Drang poetry. It is actually some really interesting poetry that exists out there, and yes, contrary to popular belief, the Germans do actually use poetry. It's just, colorful. Think back of like the stories of Hansel and Gretel and Rumpelstiltskin, because those are totally reasonably not scary, frightening stories for kids growing up. But how does this play out for us to pay attention to? Well, the big pieces are going to be people like Rousseau and Kant. Rousseau, who we've talked about in the past, is going to be a member of the French Revolution, is one of the most outspoken members of the Enlightenment. Well, he is a strong advocate that children should be allowed to be children. Let them grow, let them play, let them do whatever they want. And the only thing that parents should do to harness their development is to protect them from things that could be detrimental or harmful to them. Immanuel Kant is another Enlightenment speaker who, for the most part, we've not talked about yet. Well, Kant is going to be an influential character in how we think. He believes that our understanding of the world is limited, and nothing we will ever do will fully change that. So it is up to us to accept in a world where God exists, because that is the only way we are going to have a better understanding of the world around us. Because God is perfect and we are not. And this is part of that embracing back of that religion is a vital aspect of our development and that religion is vital to the success of society. This will play itself out in a variety of different ways that we've already talked about. Romantic literature will be strongest in Germany and Britain itself. It is going to be a type of literature that does not embrace the classics. The Greeks and Romans are not an essential feature of any of this. In fact, we're going to see some of that influence of religion back in literature again. Look at the story of Faust, which we've also talked about in class already. The selling of your soul to the devil in order to gain a better understanding of the world around you is actually an attempt to show you the fallacy of pure reason. And the story of Faust himself is going to be that of a man who, in his attempt to understand everything in the world, is going to realize that everything in the world and knowledge of it is not what's important in life. Artistically, again, we've seen this, is going to focus largely on two features, that of nature and that of the importance of God. And we've looked at some of the artists in the past, but the most outspoken of these people is going to be Caspar David Friedrich, who's going to become the most prolific romantic artist of the time period. His pieces are going to strongly emphasize the importance of nature in the world and how we can actually embrace God and we can understand God through nature and through the understanding that that provides. We also see the birth of the Neo-Gothic movement, such as in Neuschwanstein Castle, which we've seen in class. really cool castle, like, wow, awesome. Like, literally built a castle on a mountain, like, totally insane. But this art movement is going to be something that is going to be bred out of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Age, and that's the key aspect of the Romantic movement. It is an abandonment of the pure logical understanding of the world via the Enlightenment, and it is an acceptance of emotion as a true driving force in humanity, much like that of what happens in the French Revolution. Alright guys, thanks and have a great day.